Hey, I'm back to do a video about my birth plan for my new baby, and I'm going to talk about my previous birth with my daughter. As you can see, I made a scenery change. I like the lighting better in here, and plus my daughter's taking a nap at the moment. So I decided to come over here in my kitchen. My birth with my daughter. Okay, so with this, I was never asked about a birth plan from my doctor. He just said, I was like, well, I was thinking maybe I actually had it in mind to try to go for a more natural birth, not because I was educated about some of the bad things about medicated birth, but because I wanted to, feel empowered, that I did the natural birth type of thing. And he, right off the bat, he was like, well, I really recommend that you get an epidural. Like, he was like, just like dead set on it. Like, there was no way, like, I was like trying for natural birth basically to him. So I gave birth to my daughter the night before Easter. So when I got there, I didn't know I was going to give birth because I was just coming in so the doctor could look at me because I lost my mucus plug. So he said, come in. He looked at me and he said, okay, we're going to break your water, this and that, such and such. Get you on the Pitocin. And then I said to my husband, okay, I guess I'm here, so I'm going to have this baby, so why don't you go get my stuff? Because we just live like a block away from the hospital. We were so close then. Now we're 20 minutes away from the hospital. But he went home, and while he was gone, the doctor said, okay, it's time we're going to break your water, we're going to give you the drugs, we're going to get your IV in, and the anesthesiologist is here. He was going to go home on vacation, so I either had to get the epidural then, which I wasn't even feeling any contractions then, so I don't even know what a contraction feels like, basically. So I said, okay, I'll just go ahead and get the epidural since this is my chance. And I wasn't really too strongly, focused on a natural birth. I wasn't educated then, so I just had it done all then. I was so scared because I don't think my husband was back at the time, and he finally got back right when they were going to give me the epidural. So, and I was like really scared at that point because they were just like boom, 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 getting stuff done. So everything, went okay. I wasn't feeling any pain, but with my daughter, they had to give me oxygen because her, heart rate was dipping. And here to come find out that actually Pitocin, that's actually one of the side effects of Pitocin, that your baby, their oxygen, intake, isn't so good on this Pitocin, because this Pitocin, I learned, is really hard on the unborn baby. The contractions are harder. I knew that, but I didn't realize how hard it was on the baby, and especially about the lack of oxygen type thing. I never knew that. But I don't know if it was the Pitocin that caused that, or she also had her cord wrapped around her neck too. So with this one, I definitely, don't want to do Pitocin unless I'm 40 plus weeks when the baby's in distress. That's the only time that I plan on doing Pitocin. So Pitocin's out now. The epidural, I don't want to do that either. The one reason that I don't want to do the epidural is, because I want to give my baby the best, experience, and I don't want to drug it up. I don't know really the effects. If you guys know more about epidurals, the harm of epidurals, shoot me a message. Even if you are a devil's advocate, shoot me messages or whatever, as long as you're not overly defensive about it. I want to know everything, So just give me your input, devil's advocate or not, just give me your input on that, because I'm also doing, I have to do a paper on child psychology, and I'm doing medicated birth versus natural birth too. And I definitely want to, I don't want to do a C-section. I know some women that opt for that. I definitely don't want to opt that. That's definitely emergency. I'm not cutting these things out as, emergency. 2%, this is what I learned. Watch The Business of Being Born. That is very educational. That was my wake-up call right there. The Business of Being Born. You can even just view it on YouTube. I'll give you a link right now about where to go to watch that. So, what was I on? Epidurals. Oh yes, the one effect that I learned about epidurals is that if you are a breastfeeder, which I did breastfeed my last, that it makes it more complicated to breastfeed because your baby is kind of drugged up, which I never had that problem with my daughter. The nurses were actually like, this is your first baby because you're doing so well. So thankfully I didn't have that problem. But I still want to try for the natural birth. I don't want to go all the way to home birth, which I don't think that's a bad thing either. But I just want to stay in the hospital just because I just want to be there. And this is going to sound bad, but kind of like waited on. Even though they sometimes wait on you too much, because yeah, they're bothersome sometimes. But anyways, yeah, so the only effect that I know about an epidural is that. So if you have any, experiences, information about that, or experiences, I also want to know about your experiences too, because another thing about this is that I am so scared that I will want that epidural, and I am actually I think I'm gonna get a doula to coach me on, to be my backbone for my doctors, because I'm gonna look like a fool sometimes. Actually, I found out that my psychology teacher was talking about that at my hospital, the hospital that I go to, saying something about like they give, I don't know if this is a drug for numbing the pain or if it's a drug to start contractions, but one of those types of drugs that doctors use in my hospital that they're not supposed to, it's labeled right on there, not for use during labor. And a doula that was there, said, absolutely not. You cannot give my patient this. It says it right there on the bag. So that's another concern. And I'm glad to have someone there that's educated. So that's what I want to do. So if you guys have any comments, please leave me some. And words of encouragement, because, again, this is something new to me, and I'm kind of scared that I'm not going to be able to do it. So I'll check in with you guys later. Probably my 19-week video update is probably the next time that I'll talk to you guys, because I'm going to be busy. So see ya.